Hi guys, welcome back to the Good Stewart Homestead. I'm Katie and today we're going to talk about the garden and everything that's been going on. Hey guys, so welcome back to Good Stewart Homestead, and if you're new, then we are a homesteading sister partnership here at the Good Stewart Homestead. It's me and my sister, and we do this lifestyle together. And today I just wanted to give you guys an update because I haven't posted in a long time, and I wanted to talk about our garden. Now, back in April, around the 19th, the weekend of the 19th, I had taken some days off to prep our garden and get it planted, but unfortunately the night temperatures were still too cold, so I had to wait another week before I could do any planting. So the next week was almost the last week of April. So I waited till that weekend, the weekend after the 20th, to do our planting and get everything ready. I had those videos, I had it videoed and was planning to post it, and then it just didn't happen. So I had filmed videos about my garden prep and putting fertilizer on the beds and getting them all ready. And I also had videos of what we were going to plant. I think I posted a short about the plants that I had gotten and things like that. I had all of that videoed, and then life happened and it just didn't get posted. Well, since then, okay, so that's what happens when you're videoing on a slope. And I'm sorry about the camera angle and all of that. I was just trying to find a flat place here in the garden to be able to talk to you guys. So we'll see if this works any better. But so a lot of things have taken place since that time. Now, I planted cucumbers, straight 8 cucumbers. I planted straight neck heirloom yellow squash. I planted some onions. I planted some red grape cherry tomatoes. I planted some improved Whopper tomatoes, and I planted some bell peppers. And I also planted a new lavender plant. All right, so I had all of this planted, and then this past week we have just been slammed over and over and over again with thunderstorms and rain and a tornado, and so with all of that going on, and it left a lot of debris and things like that. If you checked out our Facebook page, then you got to see the video where I talked about all of the storm damage that we had from the tornado that was less than a mile from the house. Thankfully, we weren't in the direct line of the path of that tornado, but it left a lot of trees down and a lot of debris. So, and I feel like I am talking really, really fast, but I wanted to take the time to show you guys where we're at. So, let me move the camera around and figure out how to be able to show you guys what we got. Okay, so I just turned the camera around and I picked it up because I got it on the selfie stick just so I can show you guys our garden area and also some of the debris. Those limbs down, it's a good thing I didn't have the greenhouse finished, because those limbs that are currently right there landed right on top, and they used to be a lot bigger, but some friends came over and helped to clean up the debris. But we still have a lot because we've still got limbs down and stuff like that. But this is our garden. This bed right here on the very end, that's where I had the cucumbers, and unfortunately they are all but gone. So I'm gonna have to completely replant our cucumbers. They were a little bit damaged when I bought them, and they just did not survive with all the rain and the weather and everything else out here. So they're gonna have to be completely replanted. Now this is our rosemary and lavender bed. You can see that our lavender did really well. It survived. I also have some onions interspaced all into this space. So we've got some onions here. We've got, I don't know if you can see it, but we've got some onions right in here that's planted. Now the bed behind it, that was our squash bed. And I had about 5 squash plants in this bed. And as you can see, the storms and everything destroyed all but like 2. Because this is one right here. Let me see, right here. This is one, and then the other one is right here. So out of those 5, only these 2 survived. And then if you go back here, this is our improved Whopper tomato plants. And I had 6 in this bed. I now only have 4. So 2 of them died and was damaged and didn't make it. So I have 4. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's okay because they need a lot of space. So that's going to work out well. Now right here in this bed is our red grape cherry tomatoes, and I've got all 6 of them still surviving. Now they're not as straight as they were because the winds really gave them a whipping, but all 6 of the red grape cherry tomatoes have survived. Now over here, this is our catnip. Look at what the storm did to my catnip. Now our catnip needs to be harvested, but the storm just kind of sat down smack in the middle of it and just pushed it all out. But also in this bed, let me come up this way. Also in this bed is where our bell peppers are. Now I had 5 bell peppers and some onions planted in this bed, and you can see the onions and the bell pepper plant there are coming up. But out of those 5 bell peppers, I only have 3 left. I only have 3 bell pepper left. There's the catnip again, and the tomatoes back there. I don't know. I may get 1 more squash and just stick it in there because squash needs a lot of room and a lot of water. So it might be good just to put 1 more squash plant in that bed and be done. But I do intend to completely replant our cucumbers. Now I have to say, this is probably the latest I have ever planted our garden before. I don't remember if I've talked about it in previous videos, but the old-timers, the old-time farmers around here, they've always said that you plant on Good Friday or the weekend after Easter. That's just been the rule of thumb that the old-timers always say out here. And I have, up until this year and maybe last year, I have always followed that rule. Is the weekend of Easter or the weekend right after Easter is when I plant our spring and summer garden. But this year, I didn't get our garden planted until that last week of April. And you see how things have gone. I'm going to have to replant, and we're already into May. So this is the weather has just been crazy. This is the latest I have ever planted, and you see how our garden beds are going. So probably going to get 1 more squash for that bed back there, and then completely replant these cucumbers. So let me turn the camera back around and talk to you for a minute. Okay, hopefully this will work and it won't fall over like last time. But with that being said, we have some other things that are ideas that have been brought up that we're really thinking about and praying about and hoping they work out, because they would be dreams come true. And if they do, I'll probably be doing videos and updates about those ideas later. But I don't want to give anything away right now just because nothing's been set in stone yet. But I would ask if anybody out there is a praying individual, please be praying for us, and just be praying for God's direction in what's ahead. So that's all I'm going to say about that right now. But so now you've been able to see the garden. What I did was, before I planted, I put some 10-10-10 fertilizer on the garden beds, and I raked that in really good. And I also, when I planted the tomatoes, I used some tomato tone fertilizer. It's an organic fertilizer. And then we're just gonna see. Now the wind is blowing a little bit, so I might have to catch the camera if the wind tilts it over. But we've still got a lot of cleanup that we need to do from the storm. That came through on Wednesday, and here it is Sunday. That's another thing. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. I'm sorry I didn't mention that at the beginning of the video, but just happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. So yeah, so we've got a lot of things going on. We got a lot of things that we're doing. We've got some ideas that have been presented that we're praying about, and yeah, and a lot of cleanup to the storm. Now, if you saw the short that I posted about the chicken coop, yeah, that's going to be a whole nother project. Do not get, I would advise anybody to not get the flat top small animal enclosures like we did, because that we knew that would be an issue, and we've been trying to prevent that issue, where we put a tarp over the top of it to give the chickens a dry space, and it ended up that the water would just pool on top of it, and all of that weight caused the center of it to collapse. Now the chickens are fine, and they're doing good until I can get that replaced. But don't get the flat tops, get the round tops, because if you put a tarp over the round top, then the water just kind of runs off of it and you won't have that issue. So lesson learned there. And we kind of realized it right after I bought that enclosure that was going to be an issue. So we knew it was an issue, but we just hadn't been able to fix it yet. And so I'm just letting you guys know, think about that before you buy, especially if rain or snow is going to be a thing in your area. So yeah, so we're still cleaning up from the tornado. The path of the tornado on Wednesday that storm was something else, I'm telling you. It was just something else. It got really, I was still at work, and Teresa was here by herself with all the animals, and it came through about 3:15-ish in the afternoon, between 3 and 4 in the afternoon. And what I remember is being at work and looking out the window at the sky, and the sky being pitch black. I mean, it was like nighttime outside, because the sky was just that dark, and it was just crazy. And it started to rain. I mean, it was pouring sheets of rain, just solid sheets of rain, and there was hail mixed in with it, and it lightning and thunder. And here I was in my office space at my desk, which has windows on 2 sides, and I am one of those that I think thunderstorms and things like that and extreme weather like that is fascinating to learn about, and it's fascinating to watch videos about. But when you're the one in the path of the storm or something like that, it's scary, and that storm scared me. So it was really scary, and it really made me nervous for our homestead here. And so I was constantly trying to get a hold, texting and bugs, trying to get a hold of family and especially my sister here, and been like, are y'all okay? Are the animals okay? Is everything good? And she said that the power flickered here, and it actually went out for a few minutes, but it came back on. But it wasn't until Thursday or Friday that we actually saw a picture that a meteorologist posted on Facebook about the path of the tornadoes that came through. And one of them in particular, because there were two of them, but one of them in particular came within 3/4 of a mile of our house. And so I was like, well, no wonder we had all these big limbs and stuff like that strewn all over the backyard. One of those big limbs actually came down on the dog's house out here in the yard, and thankfully she was not in the doghouse because she hates using the doghouse, but it fell on her doghouse and just crushed it. So she wasn't harmed in that. She wasn't even in the doghouse because, like I said, she hates the doghouse. The only time she ever got in the doghouse was if it was cold or rainy. But thankfully, during all of that, she was not in it. And so, yeah, we had a lot of cleanup over the last 3 days. And then just our area, there was a lot of limbs and trees down over the road, because before the tornadoes, we had 2-3 days straight of just rain and rain and rain and rain and thunderstorms come through, and it had the ground saturated with water. So any kind of high wind or anything was just blowing these trees over because the ground was so wet that the roots had nothing to hold on to. And so, yeah, when the storm left pretty much just as quickly as it came in, and I was leaving work trying to get home, and it was like every path I took to try and get home was getting blocked by trees that had come down on the roads. So I couldn't go my normal route home, and then I got stuck in traffic waiting. Traffic was backed up on the main highway because there was this big old giant oak tree over the road, and it was a mess. I mean, it was blocked all the way around. So again, if you get on our Facebook page and check out that video where I actually show you what the damage at our house looked like, and I just tell you, I was talking about my local people about what roads were closed in our area and that sort of thing. I mean, it was just like we were completely blocked off from just about every direction. So getting home from work that day was just a mess. And I know that what we dealt with this past week with that tornado is nothing like what they're dealing with in Oklahoma or Texas or any of those places. But yeah, we got hit. Our area got hit, and it was pretty close to the house, but thank the Lord it wasn't right on the house. And we didn't have any major damage other than some really massive tree limbs that that broke out of the trees and landed in the yard. So yeah, that's what we've been dealing with, from crazy weather to just the daily grind. Also, another thing too is my position at work has changed, so that's been another reason why I haven't posted until now, is because this past week I started a new position at my job, and I'm learning a lot, but at the end of the day, my brain is tired, y'all. My brain is tired at the end of the day, and so I just haven't been up to posting any videos with that. And then, like I said, we've had some new ideas presented that we're praying about, because if we do move forward with these ideas that have been given to us, then it's going to be life-changing. And I may talk about that later on. I don't know, because right now nothing's set in stone, and I don't want to talk about something before it happens. But just be in prayer for us here at the Good Steward Homestead, because life is moving fast. So, and again, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, and I hope you have a great day, and all of you celebrate your mom. I know she may not have been the best mom, but she still gave you life, so that's something. If nothing else, that's something. So say thank you at least for that much. If that's all you can thank your mother for, then thank her for that. Say thank you, Mom. But anyway, so happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Oh, and if you are like us and you don't necessarily have human children, but you have fur babies, like we do, then happy Fur Baby Mother's Day to you too. All right, y'all have a good one and have a blessed week. Bye.